Da da da! What's my good cheer? Welcome, welcome, everybody. I'm finally here. You won't believe, well, you have to believe me as I try really hard not to lie. But I wanted to be here at like 1 o'clock this afternoon. And, I got into utilizing some new fresh space that came available out of frustration. I kept taking those breaks, and then those breaks just felt so comfy. And I'm going, oh my goodness, Cindy. And then I thought, no, Cindy, it's your day off. You know what I was doing 10 minutes ago? I was dangling in my slippers over some of my favorite ornaments here, like some of my favorite ornaments. And I was trying to put, where is that thing? I was trying to put this thing. It's like an artist lamp. It hangs up against the wall and it hangs over your lights to feature your beautiful art. I really love my art. I scored good on my art. And even though it's not for everybody, it's for me, right? And the art, surprisingly, that I choose, that I'm drawn to, is by very famous and talented artists. You know, it's like, who would that actor be without the odd audience? Who would Picasso be without his audience, without the people who admire their work, right? And I truly believe in when we talk about majority rules. You know, it is in who gets to be famous, right? Who gets to be famous? It's in the majority that decides, you know, if Picasso is going to be huge. I mean, right? Picasso is kind of unique in his style, but with all those other experts in the world concurring that he's amazing, right? Well, that has to be the evidence. And even though Picasso might not be one of my favorites, right? It doesn't mean that I don't appreciate good, good work, amazing work, work that I relate to, that inspires me. And my art, it inspires me. I work in a little thrift store. Great scores when it comes to art come across my path almost every shift, right? But I'm very particular about what I love to surround myself with. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Andrew. Um, you're a night owl tonight. You certainly are. What time is it where you are? It's right now, it's going on 10 minutes after 10 o'clock at night. I was dragging my butt. I was redecorating my space. I don't know if it looks any less cluttered to you guys. It certainly seems a lot less cluttered to me. That space was entirely empty. In my intermittent spells of releasing energy, I spent it in rearranging my pieces, right? Giving them a little bit of breathing space, getting ahead in some of those household things that are going to set me up better for next week, and possibly better for my future down the road. Also, I got a piece of furniture coming in. I bought a little dinette set, a little cream color dinette set. It's absolutely adorable. It was $40, but I get a little staff discount. It cost me $28, and we don't pay for taxes because it's uh it's secondhand, right? So, but it's in exactly the style that I want in my home. So right now I'm being drawn to purchase the pieces that I'm drawn to, right? While I have this job, right? I don't want to just settle to furnishing a new apartment with with just things because I need them. I want them to be because I want them, right? That I took my time, that I picked what I liked. I picked the things that inspired me, the things that made me smile, the things that I thought would make me feel right, comfortable in my environment. And certainly I've done a decent job at that because, I have a lot of energy that, right, belong to other people. But I do believe the things, like I said, the things that I love in that majority would say, oh, that's cool, Cindy. That's cool. Um, I would take my laptop over for you guys to see the up there. Got rid of some of my tall vases. I put them with my donations. Yeah, I'm just getting the pieces that I want, right? And I'm rearranging things a little bit, right? Because this is my workspace. This is my safe space, and I want it to reflect me, right? In its aesthetics. And that's true. And just like I said, I've got a lot of secondhand energy in my apartment, right? I couldn't tell you how many different smalls I have. I probably have over 200 of little ceramic, glass, metal, plastic, lucite, all different types of materials of little animals and creatures and right? And but somebody picked those because they love them, right? You don't buy a small because they don't really serve any purpose except to make you smile or reminisce, right? You don't buy a small because it's going to trigger you and make you feel angry all the time. It's going to bring you a memory. It's going to bring you a warm feeling, something comfortable, right? Make you feel good about yourself, make you feel good about your environment, make you feel good about your life. So why am I talking about my environment and my apartment and getting these things? It's, you are what you surround yourself with. And I spend a lot of my time by myself in that companionship to myself, right? But that companionship to myself is in the pursuit of something better that if it serves me, it might serve others at the same time, right? So that takes a lot of lessons. That takes a lot of right delving in and right. And you want your surroundings to hold that feeling up, hold that motivation up, right? That when you're feeling all kind of draggy and right, you should have been here at 1 o'clock this afternoon, right? But we were just looking for reasons. So you decided, right? It was a good time. I had just gotten rid of over 100 pieces of pottery. Can you believe it? I had over 100 pieces of pottery. I got rid of all of it yesterday. Crazy. I'm so happy. But I had all that space, like I said, and I filled it up in no time. And I enjoyed myself doing it, right? Okay. Speaking of Picasso, a fun fact is that my Uncle George was one of the people who made or assembled the parts of the Picasso sculpture outside of the John Hancock building in Chicago. Oh, how interesting is that, Andrew? Right? That's absolutely amazing. And yeah, that's and like I said about that, Picasso, even though he's not everybody's taste, he's somebody's taste, and he was enough in that majority to say his work is really good, right? He's uh he's an expert in his field. He's a master in his art, right? And I'm not sure if Picasso got to appreciate. Andrew, did Picasso get to appreciate that in his own lifetime? I would be interested to know. Andrew will have that answer for sure. Andrew will have that answer for sure. He's one of my moderators Sunday night. If you've never met Andrew before, and I'm really grateful that he pops into this live. This live's a little bit heavier than my chatter's live, but he's such a kind soul, and a very, very smart soul that enjoys, right, having those answers for me. Oh, so he did. And you hear that phrase, starving artist, lots of times, and they're for the majority of great artists, their work is appreciated long after they've passed away. And it's funny when we talk about that, Andrew. What just popped into my mind is some of those traveling artists from the early 18th century, and they would travel the back roads of the United States, and they would stop at farms. In those times there were no photographs, and they would stop by farms, and they would offer to paint portraits. Some of the most value paintings, right, that are out there in the market right now are those traveling artists, those artists that who in their own lifetime never became truly famous. And yet, some of them, now, right, 100 years later, right, 200 years later, are very sought after by some of the biggest collectors in the world for their paintings. But that's good to know. I wasn't too sure about it. This these two paintings that I have here, they're actually prints of one of the most famous North American artists, and he wasn't even North American. He traveled with Lewis and Clark, the explorers. He was actually from Germany. He also became very, very rich and very, very well known in his own lifetime. And out of spite, out of other artists not appreciating that he had money and they didn't, they discredited his work. They cut him down, right? He really wasn't included in some of those communities. And after he died, I think it was just even in the late 50s or the mid 50s, his paintings had to go back under scrutiny because he was considered a master, right? He was considered a master, but because of all the naysayers, right, he had that privilege of being a master, kind of, I don't know, was kind of stepped down from him. No, I'm not going to say taken away, because art is art, and it's in the majority that rules in the end. And his work to me is absolutely magnificent. So magnificent that they got to be one of those choices, right? I'd like to think rare choices, but right? Decorating my living room today proved to me there's still a long way to go, right? Cindy is a little bit of a collector in the things that she likes, but that's okay. I love being eclectic, in those moments that We need to have conversation pieces. I have lots of them, right? And every single piece I have has a story to them. I was telling my sister today, there's only one thing in my household, the oldest thing that I have in my household that isn't secondhand or a gift. I don't buy anything that's secondhand or what's given to me other than, right, my personal needs, my groceries and the bathroom needs, right? But other than that, everything I own is secondhand except for one item. It was a conditioner comb that I bought in the 80s when I was just coming out of high school because my hair was so curly you couldn't brush it because it would just turn to frizz. It's even still, it's just very, very curly, right? And so I didn't brush my hair, but I had to keep it untangled. So I had a combing with big separated teeth to help to make sure that the knots were out of my hair. Very grateful to have, you know, found a way to recycle, right? And it's amazing. I love the collectibles, right? Me and my sister are having a blast with what we're doing, and who knows where it's going to go. I leave myself open. In the meantime, I make my home comfortable, right? And I find those days when I just want to drag my butt and be a companion for myself because, being a companion for others, and Andrew would know about this because these are the people that I want to take care of, right? Or at the very least, you know, help to make their stories, their journeys a little bit more comfortable, right? Is to take care of themselves because they're caregivers, right? And those caregivers, they need that time for themselves, right? Don't you just love your time, Andrew? Right? I just recently come to appreciate how much I love that alone time. I was out on the road. I loved being out on the road. I loved being out in the country by myself. I would do anything right now in the pitch dark to be out in some farm field. I really would, right? But I certainly didn't appreciate it the way I appreciated this moment, right? That to each one of us in our choices. And sometimes I love being alone. Right. Right. It's that reward that we give to ourselves so that we can regenerate. Andrew's saying, I like being alone at time, and especially when things I've needed to work on are done, right? That little bit of reward, that exhaustion, right? Because it's like when a mother gets in a car accident and her baby's in the back seat and she runs behind the car and she lifts the car up. Oh, wait a minute. The baby's not under the car, so that would be that wouldn't be a good analogy, would it? Okay, but maybe the door's bashed in and it's locked and it's, I'm just gonna give up on that analogy. I'm just gonna give up on that. Was funny. You may got it, you might not have. I got it. It was pretty funny. I like being alone at times, and especially when things I've needed to work on are done, right? And that is that reward, that exhaustion. And I feel like I didn't do anything on these set of days off that I have. And now I've just stopped and went, oh my goodness, I got so much done. Like I got so much done, and it just went bang, 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 bang. And a lot of it wasn't things that I thought that I would have to get done, like getting rid of packing 100 pieces of earthenware, of pottery and putting them in Rubbermaid containers and getting them on my dolly and right, getting them out of my apartment forever. I will never ever buy a piece of pottery again. Wow. It has to go with the theme from now on, right? So most likely, like the only pieces I kept one set because they were landscaped, and in pottery it's very very hard to glaze in a way that you can make landscapes, but the way she did is just amazing. One day I'll show you. I only have three pieces of her art, but they're amazing, so I kept those. I kept, if you could see right here, right there, this is my birch tree vase. It was my second favorite piece. My favorite pieces are behind me. You can't see them. They're up there. They're up there on that shelf. They're two pottery. I don't know what they are, but they're family, and they've been hanging out with me. I did have three of them, but I broke one accidentally. It happens. I don't cry over spilt milk, but I almost wanted to over that one because I really love those pieces. Like I said, I picked these pieces because I have an attachment to them, right? And yeah, they're right over my shoulder. Right there. If you could get it, if you're on a 60-inch screen, maybe you'll be able to see them. Take a look at their faces. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. And yeah, they'll be with me till the end. I'm slowly, right? I got a donation bag at the door. I'm gonna stuff it full, even more full than it is right now. And I'm gonna get out of here. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to have a walk home, right? I'm going to walk home tomorrow, 8 kilometers tomorrow night from work. That'll be really nice. That'll be my Mother Nature, my connection with Mother Nature, because that companionship with myself, right, is make it so I'm not connecting with too much outside of me right now. And I go through stages like that, but I never recognized it before, right? I never recognized. I was just like, oh, I'm so tired, or that was a hard day at work, or I took it because I got into an argument, or somebody cranked at me, right? And I would just take it to, oh, right, just one of those days, not realize that I was creating my own days, right? That sometimes when I was in those seasons, I would make those seasons, right, even worse by the grumbling and complaining and the right, not being on top of those things that I was able to take care of, and then crying over the spilt milk that I had no control over. It's just the way it was. So I'm getting better at recognizing those needs, because sometimes I think those needs are wants, right? It's the way I was brought up, with that answer of no always flying at me, right? So a lot of those things that I did need in my life, right? They were categorized under wants. And, I think I denied myself. I think I denied myself lots in not recognizing that a little bit sooner. So I'm not going to feel guilty, right, about that companionship with myself. I know that's the programming to make sure that I stay in that state, right? But I'm doing whatever I can. I am procrastinating. I'm eating pink ice. I haven't had a pink ice donuts, but whatever. If I wanted a pink ice donuts with sprinkles, right now, I would have a pink ice donuts with sprinkles, right? Trying to cut back on the coffee, but right, right? When you're in that state, you want to make sure that you're comfortable. So I wanted to make my environment comfortable today, right? So that if I am going to spend a little bit of time by myself in that companionship, that most important relationship in my life, that one with myself, right? That if I'm going to stay in and taking lessons, right? Study. Somebody told me, or I heard somewheres, that this was the best book ever written. Can't even pronounce his name. The Short Novels of Dostoevsky. Oh, good thing it's short stories, so right, I don't have to delve into deep, but I heard that it's pretty deep. But I don't know how somebody could make something super deep into a majority that says it's the best book ever written. I'd like to be the judge for that, to see if maybe I might be part of that majority, right? That majority. But maybe I won't, right? But I won't know unless I try. You guys, that's all I got for you tonight because I spent it dangling from the ceiling and, right, sweeping and sitting here and staring off into space and washing dishes and being in contemplation. I haven't even been outside yet. Maybe that's what I could do. What time is it? Go for an evening walk. Oh, let's just tie this up. Um, Andrew, thank you so much for popping into my live tonight. For those of you who pop in later, I hope you're off to a great running on your week. My work week starts tomorrow. I run the weekends. It's a place for me to ground as I practice my craft, knowing that I could easily float away like a bouquet of helium balloons if I didn't have that little job in that little thrift store that helps me to ground in something I enjoy doing, right? Right? I get some amazing things from my apartment. I'm looking forward to bringing my new dinette table home. It's just the table, but I've got my eyes open for the chairs, and you're gonna bet they're just going to be perfect for me. Okay, you guys, that's my good chair. I am off and running. I think I'm going to go take a walk to the store. I know I needed to get some garbage bags anyway in clean out mode. And yeah, get some fresh air before I call it a night. And I'll start up right off the hop when I get up again in the morning. You guys, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.